Hello and welcome. In this guide I will present my way of beating the traffic scenario in City Skylines. Well, I'm fully aware that there are already videos out there that show how to beat the traffic scenario. But I have two major problems with most of them. The first one being the use of mods, or at least gameplay altering mods. For example, the Trafic Manager Presidential Edition makes the scenario kinda pointless. And my second problem is the length of those videos. Most of them are around 1 hour or even 2 hours for a simple guide. And that's just too long, at least for me. So here I want to present my way of beating the scenario without the use of gameplay altering mods in a reasonable length. Alright, here we are. First of all, pause the game. The reason for that? We have limited time. 200 weeks are a lot, fair enough, but still, you don't want to lose time if it's not necessary. You also can't get under 25,000 people in your city, which shouldn't be a problem at all if you don't go ham with the bulldozer. Now the winning condition, you need a traffic flow over 82%, which is currently at 63, so pretty bad, and a population over 35,000, which can be tricky, as you will see. Before we even start with placing or removing anything, there are two things we can do to instantly improve the traffic flow and help us reach the second goal, having a population of 35,000 people. So first of all, we are gonna set our taxes. Usually you would go as far as 12%, but since we wanna have a higher demand than normal to reach the 35,000 people goal, we will leave it at 11%. The second thing are policies. First one being encourage biking, which of course lowers the traffic. The second one, high-tech housing, will help us counter a common problem on this map, that people will complain about the land values. If you use public transport, of course, there are other interesting policies in the service tab, but for me, that are the only two I'm gonna use. Before we start working on the highways, we will take all available loans. Since we have increased the taxes, we have more than enough money per week to pay the weekly costs. Next, we will take a look at where the problem actually lies. So in this case, we can see three major problems along the highway. We have one on the right, then we have one at the entrance and exit lanes to the industry district in the middle, and then we have the big one to the left, which just seems to be one big mess. So in order to fix at least the intersections of the highway, I'm gonna use an asset from the Steam Workshop. At its core, it's just a small intersection that works really well. I don't consider that cheating since I could always build it myself, but that's really time consuming. I don't want to keep it short, so I'm just gonna use an asset. So we're just gonna bulldoze everything and place those assets along the highway. In the next step, we will improve the intersections in the local areas. In order to do that, first of all, we will deactivate all traffic lights. In the way the AI works in this game, it makes every car look like he's going full John Cena, but when you look closely, they are able to communicate very well, which makes traffic light, in most cases, just unnecessary. After that, as you can see, we have many little districts that are only connected via the highway currently, and that is something you don't want to have in your city. I'll leave a link in the description to a video of Sam Burr where he explains it in more detail. He's a really good YouTuber and a city planner, as far as I know, and in his videos he's showing some of his real life expertise applied on city skylines. So what we are gonna do is just connect those districts via the low density roads. And it's important that you use low density roads, because you wanna just connect the areas and don't build an alternative to the highway. Because if you start building high density roads, that could mean that the AI considers the new built high density road a faster way than the highway, which would result in the same traffic jam, just in another place. Next, we have some problems with one-way roads in the city. The way they are set up, it causes a lot of stress on single roads. So by replacing those with two-lane roads, we distribute the loads more equally. There are also two roundabouts on the map, who are set in the wrong direction. So we're just gonna change the direction of the roundabouts and otherwise replace all one-way roads. So, we just changed a couple of things and the average traffic flow is already rising. And since we are doing a good job, we are rewarded with even more money, which will come in handy when we try to increase the city population. Now, the last step is exactly that. We try to raise the city population, and that we will do just like in every other city. By providing services like policing, fire stations or hospitals. Also, we're basically just gonna place a bunch of parks, fitting or not. And of course, we're just gonna zone everything that can't be zoned. And basically, that's all there is. So now it's just sit back, relax and drink a cup of tea. Thank you for watching and all the best. Till next time.